Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dilboy Stadium in Somerville, Massachusetts for Boston Breakers soccer. Tonight, the Breakers are hosting the Portland Thorns FC. Breakers come in 6th place in the NWSL at 5-5-5, and the Thorns are 8-4-3, and they are in 3rd place entering play today. Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler. It's a very important game here today, and there's already been a final score today with Western New York winning, so that puts them a few more points higher than the Breakers right now in the standings. So certainly an important game for the Breakers. But they come in on a hot streak. It's been a while since they've been here in Boston. They left with that victory against Sky Blue FC, went on the road and secured 5 out of a possible 9 points, with the win coming against this Portland team. So the Breakers have had good success already against Portland with that 2-0 victory a couple weeks ago. Yeah, and as we're heading down the home stretch of the season, these last games are very, very important. This game against Portland is critical for Boston to prove themselves, to prove that they're a great team, that they deserve that 4th playoff spot. Portland's sliding a little bit, so it's perfect chance for Boston to take advantage of that. Breakers' last game, though, was last Saturday. They played Sky Blue again. It was a 0-0 tie, and right now the Breakers' defense has been tremendous. Just 1 goal in the last 302 minutes of action. And we've talked before the game and the pre-game, as we like to call it. Portland is so much offensive firepower. To come in on such a good defensive streak is obviously important for this Breakers team. Yeah, and Ashley Phillips is coming off a great game for her, so she'll be in goal today. With Christine Sinclair for Portland, with Alex Morgan, those offensive threats are scary. They're 2 of the best forwards in the entire world, so the Breakers defense will have their hands full. Kat Whitehill's a great leader back there, though, so she will be leading the Breakers, anchoring that defense as she has been all season long. And we've already talked about the Breakers being on a 4-game unbeaten streak. As for Portland, they're on a 4-game winless streak, 0-2-2 in their last 4 contests. They've only scored 1 goal in those last 4 games, and that came in their last matchup, a 1-1 tie with Western New York. So, something we'll harp on, obviously, is the offensive talent of Portland, and really altogether talent. Breakers have to be careful that Portland could just bust out at any moment and put a couple on the board. Yeah, they definitely want to. Sinclair, Morgan, they're players that want to score a lot of goals, so holding them to just 1 goal in their last 4 games is a little scary because they want to score a lot today. So it's going to be very important for Boston to slow this game down, slow that offensive down, and just play to their abilities, play the game that they can play. And to reset the standings right now, Portland is currently in 3rd at 8-4-3, 27 points. Sky Blue FC entered play today in 1st. They lost today to Western New York 3-0 on the Fox Soccer Game of the Week, so they are right there at 31 points. FC Kansas City, after a win yesterday, they are in 2nd place at 8-4-5. Meanwhile, the Breakers are officially in 6th place right now, with Western New York in 4th, now with 27 points. So the Breakers are 7 points behind Western New York entering this game. The Breakers will have a game in hand, though, in the standings. So, and those 2 teams have another matchup later in the year, so the Breakers will have a chance to make up some ground. So that resets the standings coming into the last game of the 15th week of the inaugural NWSL season. Breakers 3-2-2 at home this year. Portland, though, very strong 4-1-2 on the road. So the Breakers will try to protect their home field, which is something they've been able to do most of the year. Yeah, and there's a great crowd here today. We expected that with Alex Morgan coming into town. There's a lot of fans here, a lot of Breakers fans, a lot of Alex Morgan's fans. So hopefully that energy and that crowd participation will really help propel the Breakers and have some extra momentum on their side. It's now time for today's starting lineups, and those are brought to you by TCG Network Services. Excuse me. We first take a look at the lineup for the Portland Thorns FC. They go with a 4-3-3 on the defensive line. They have Marion Doherty, and followed with Catherine Williamson, Nikki Marshall, and Rachel Bueller. The midfielders are Mana Shim, Ali Long, and Tobin Heath. And the forwards for the Thorns, Danielle Foxhoven, and then that firepower pair of Christine Sinclair and Alex Morgan. And in goal for Portland is Karina LeBlanc. The head coach of the Thorns is Cindy Parlow Crane. A little bit more about Karina LeBlanc. She is making her 15th start out of 16 games for Portland, at 8-3-3 record. She's 2nd in the league in saves with 60, and she's 3rd in shutouts with 6. But she did allow those 2 goals. Both were scored by Cindy LaRue back on July 6th. And now the starting lineup for the Boston Breakers. They go with a 4-4-2. Kat Whitehill, Jasmine Avant, Julie King, and Kia McNeil On the back line for the Breakers, midfielders Heather O'Reilly, who had both of those assists on Sydney LaRue's goals against Portland a couple of weeks ago. Leanne Sanderson and Joanna Lohman and Mariah Noguera in the midfield. And the forwards for the Breakers, Sydney LaRue and Kaya Simon makes the start today. And as we alluded to earlier, Ashley Phillips gets the start in goal, the second consecutive game. She had the shutout against Sky Blue last week in the 0-0 draw on the season. She is making appearance number 9, ninth start, a 1-3-4 record. And so she's in goal today against the Thorns. The head coach of the Breakers is Lisa Cole. Throughout the broadcast tonight, we want you to get in contact with us. You can do that via Twitter and using the hashtag BreakersTV, and let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, who your favorite players are, anything you want to throw along to the broadcast, and it might get read on the air here tonight. We'll pause now for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll get you the injury report, have a look at our player watch, and then have the first kick, Breakers and Thorns, live here from Boston.
In goal number 1, Karina LeBlanc. On defense number 2, Marion Doherty. On defense number 5, Kat Williamson. At midfield number 6, Melina Shim. On defense number 7, Nikki Marshall. At forward number 9, Danielle Foxhoven. At midfield number 10, Allie Long. At forward number 12, Christine Sinclair. At forward number 13, Alex Morgan. On defense number 16, Rachel Bueller. And at midfield number 17, Tobin Heath. The head coach of Portland Thorns FC is Cindy Parlow-Cone. Assistant coach Nate Berry and John Gallus. And now the starters for your Boston Breakers. At forward number 2, Sydney Lee. On defense number 4, Kat Whitehill. On defense number 5, Jasmine Avant. On defense number 8, Julie King. At midfield number 9, Heather O'Reilly. At forward number 10, Leanne Sanderson. At midfield number 11, Joanna Lohman. On defense number 14, Kia McNeil. At forward number 17, Kaya Simon. At midfield number 20, Mariah Noguera. And in goal number 24, Ashley Phillips. The head coach of the Breakers is Lisa Cole. Assistant coach Maren Rojas. Goalkeeping coach Jason Hamilton. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay on your feet and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back. It is time for our injury report, brought to you by Sonocyte, the official ultrasound of the Breakers. Today, Alyssa Nair is out. She suffered a broken nose on the 26th of June against Sky Blue FC, so she had surgery recently and is recovering from that. And for Portland, Casey Ramirez is questionable with an ankle injury. We also have Bianca D'Agostino and Becky Edwards are both out for their respective teams for the season with ACL injuries. Katie Schepfer for Boston is probable for the game. She's not in the starting lineup, but that doesn't mean we won't see her later. And Kat Whitehill was also probable at game time, but she is in the starting lineup, so it looks like her injury is nothing too serious.
Yep, Kat Whitehill will be out there with that left hamstring strain. And now we take a look at the players to watch in this one between the Breakers and the Thorns. And no surprise, Sydney Leroux on the Breakers side, 5'3", 23 years old, played collegiately at UCLA. Leads the league, or is tied for the league leading goals with 10. 1 assist as well for Leroux. And then you see Alex Morgan has a couple of inches on Leroux, 5'7", 24 years old. She played collegiately in California as well at Cal Berkeley. 5 goals this year for Alex Morgan, which is tied for 6th in the NWSL. And she has added 3 assists. She also leads the league in shots on goal with 33. So Leroux and Morgan were definitely the 2 players in this lineup today that got the best reaction from the crowd, the teammates from the U.S. national team.
And they both are young. They're both kind of the future of the U.S. team. They've got a lot of years left for them on the national scene. So, you know, for Boston, Sydney Leroux is their fast power forward up top. And Alex Morgan plays the same role for Portland.
Just running through that starting lineup again defensively for Portland. Doherty, Williamson, Marshall, Bueller. Midfielders, Shim, Long, and Heath. Forwards, Foxhoven, Sinclair, and Morgan with LeBlanc in goal. Breakers defensively have Whitehill, Levant, King, and McNeil. O'Reilly, Sanderson, Lohman, and Noguera in the midfield. Leroux and Simon the forwards with Phillips in goal. Referee in charge today is Robert Sabiga. Assistants are Corey Richardson and Russ Wolf, and the 4th official is Munar Indamalak. Just about ready for first kick. The Breakers will be in their blue home uniforms, and they will move right to left across your screens here in this late afternoon or early afternoon back in Portland. And Portland in white jerseys will move left to right here in this first 45 minutes of action. The final game of the 15th week of the NWSL season. Western New York beating Sky Blue earlier today in the Fox Soccer Game of the Week, 3-0. And so now the Breakers and Thorns take center stage and look to finish up the 15th week of the season. Portland right now in 3rd place with the 27 points. Although a win today, and they would leapfrog right up over FC Kansas City into 2nd. Breakers are in 6th. They are 7 points back of Western New York for that 4th and final playoff spot. So we are underway. Breakers and Thorns on a Sunday afternoon in Somerville, Massachusetts.
Yeah, and as this game begins, both teams want to be the first one to get on the board. Obviously, momentum is going to be really important today.
Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler, Alex Sims on the sideline. We thank you for tuning in. Broadcast brought to you by Media Boss Television. And again, use the hashtag BreakersTV to join the conversation on Twitter. And let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. As we are just underway early in the first half. Have a bit of a clock malfunction in the stadium right now. They're working to fix that. And then we'll get that up on the score bar for you once they are able to fix the problem. As the ball cleared away by Ashley Phillips, making her 9th start in goal. A 1-3-4 record. She started the game against Sky Blue last week and had the shutout with 5 saves. In there for Alyssa Nair, who had surgery on her broken nose, so recovering from that. Here's Portland. Sinclair trying to go in the middle to Shim. Got knocked away by Whitehill. Played back, though, and Portland trying to keep control just outside of the penalty area. Morgan goes across to the far sideline. Sinclair again crosses it into the box. It gets through to Morgan, but then she couldn't get a foot on it and then cleared out of there.
And the Breakers are lucky right there because Morgan had a perfect open shot right there, and Phillips wouldn't have been able to catch that one. King kind of fell down on her mark right there.
So Portland, nearly a great chance. Just 2 minutes into the first half. It's also very warm, and it's warm up here. I can only imagine how much warmer it is on the field. As Morgan drops it back. Shim out to the sideline now. And Avant forces that one out of bounds. Tobin Heath plays it in quickly. And there's a miss hit by Allie Long. And it comes all the way back, and Sinclair picks it up. Sinclair on the near side, Doherty. And then her cross. Attempt goes out.
So already early we've seen the Boston Breakers defense being tested, and their outside wings of Avant and King are going to have to stick to their marks throughout this game, or else Boston's going to be in trouble.
So the corner kick up coming. Tobin Heath will take it with her left foot. Sends it in, and it's headed out by Whitehill. Now off to the races. Kaya Simon will pick it up. It's a 2-on-2 with LaRue, and Simon couldn't control it. And then stepping up to take it away was Catherine Williamson.
I think Simon wanted that touch back. It wasn't a great first touch for her, and LaRue would have been a dangerous threat up top.
That gets bounced in to Phillips, and she'll clear it out. Header comes down towards Heather O'Reilly. Plays it through, and Sanderson couldn't get to it in time. And LaRue getting bumped, and the foul whistled on Portland. As Allie Long was there against LaRue. Kat Whitehill, who was now started in all 16 games for the Breakers this season, will chip it in to the box. Going out to that far corner, Noguera, trying to fight for it and wins the throw-in. Ball loose at the top of the 18, and Portland comes away with it. Sinclair taps it for Morgan. Now they'll play it back. Long run there for Sinclair. She gets to it, able to keep it in, but nobody there in a white uniform. Julie King able to get it for Boston. Leanne Sanderson trying to play it up the near side, trying to connect. And now does. But a bad pass is coming up to take it away, Allie Long. She'll play it back for her keeper, LeBlanc. Neither team has a shot yet, as Joanna Lohman will throw it in, and now she'll leave it back for her teammate.
And right now, both teams are kind of frantically kicking the ball around a little bit. They need to settle down and be more, use more strategy with runs and passes, because it's a little bit messy right now. This will be picked up by LeBlanc. Karina LeBlanc having a fantastic season, second in the league in saves, third in shutouts. 15th start, 8-3-3 is her record. She's been player of the week on 2 occasions, last week, week 14, as well as week 11. And she's a veteran presence back there. She's a great goalie. She plays for Team Canada, so she has that international experience that, Ashley Phillips doesn't necessarily have. Karina LeBlanc is definitely a great keeper, and great for Portland to have them in their net. And she's also spent some time with this Breakers team about 12 years ago, but she had been a member of the Breakers team back in the early years as Foxhoven passed that off, and Morgan was free for a moment. It got played away there by McNeil, and then the safe play by Phillips to clear it out.
of bounds for a throw-in. Taken here by Doherty. Quickly in.
You can't give Alex Morgan those kind of chances.
Foxhoven will play it back, and going to get it is Long. In the 8th minute. Trying to go across the field, intended for Morgan, got knocked away. Doherty with some space. The one touch bounces out, picked up by Shim. And deflected out. It'll be off of a white jersey and a Breakers throw-in. Julie King will do the honors. Leanne Sanderson plays it long. O'Reilly will track it down. O'Reilly loses control, then it gets sent out by Rachel Bueller.
That was a great run by O'Reilly. She, flew down that sideline, and Bueller had no choice but to kick it out.
77 degrees officially here. It feels a lot hotter. Humidity up there, 67%. Not really even sure what that means. I'm not a meteorologist, but it's hot. And hotter on the field for sure, especially with the artificial playing surface. O'Reilly with the corner. Goes out towards the far post, gets headed out by a white jersey. It'll be a throw-in on the opposite side.
Looked like Alex Morgan actually went up and got that header out, so good for her to come back and help her defense out. Great kick by O'Reilly, just Boston couldn't get ahead on it.
Ball gets pinballed around between Simon and Sanderson. Chipped out by Portland, but maybe only momentarily. Is collision there. And that was Foxhoven, I believe, for Portland. Got tangled up with Noguera. And she's down on the ground hurt.
Yeah, she took a tumble right there. I don't think any harm was meant in that one. And good to see her get up pretty quickly from that.
Foxhoven playing in her 15th game, 23 years old. Familiar to the Portland area. 4th all-time in scoring at the University of Portland with 139 points.
Yeah,
has 3 goals this year for the Thorns.
She's another offensive threat. She can't be overlooked with Morgan and Sinclair up there. She can score a lot of goals, and she's fast, and so she'll be sneaking down this far side.
We have some fans tweeting in using the hashtag BreakersTV. We have Robert from Chicago who is cheering for Portland and Alex Morgan. Thought maybe there was a reason with the Chicago Reds. This probably is what it is. Probably a Red Stars fan rooting that the Breakers don't move up the standings with a win here today. Again, that's the hashtag BreakersTV. Join in on the broadcast here. Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler. Alex Sims down on the field. We're at Dilboy Stadium in Somerville, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. Media Boss Television, your broadcast provider. There's the hashtag on the screen for you. Morgan has it. Cross is cut off by Phillips. Not much room there for Morgan to do anything, or she got it at the end line.
Yeah, and Phillips cut off any angle for any pass to get towards Central. Phillips is coming off a great start, her last game, and she's got a lot of confidence coming into that, which is great for her because this Portland team is pretty scary on the offensive side.
So we're in the 12th minute. By our unofficial stats, we have no shots, and pretty sure that's correct. That one slowly bounces through, but it was offside. Foxhoven. Phillips came up to play it anyways, but offside is the call. It is overcast for the time being at the stadium, although to the right and left of a huge dark cloud. You see blue sky. As Whitehill will take it here for the Breakers. Second of 3 matchups between the Breakers and Thorns this year as that ball bounces to Sanderson, her shot, and she scores.
Wow, that was a great goal by Sanderson. She wanted that one. She worked so hard. She's a great player, and I mean, LeBlanc had no chance for that one.
Second goal of the season for Leanne Sanderson, coming here in the 13th minute. It just bounced and found her foot. And able to beat Karina LeBlanc to make it 1-0 Breakers.
And Sanderson always fights for it. She always wants it. So it was great for her being in that perfect position to have a great shot on it. That was a rocket, and LeBlanc really didn't have a chance to come up with that save.
She still leads the league in assists with 7, but it's been a while for her, and able to get that second goal. As we're able to take a look at this goal. As it bounced around, and that was Simon who was able to get it to Sanderson, who makes it 1-0 Breakers.
And, you know, the kick by Whitehill was in the perfect spot, too. Whitehill takes most of the free kicks from that side of the field, so that all started with her, too.
Sinclair has her shot deflected away.
Breakers goal scored in the 13th minute by number 10, Leanne Sanderson.
So a corner kick coming for Portland. It'll be their 3rd of the night already. Breakers scoring. Sanderson from Kaya Simon. Simon's 2nd assist of the season.
And this is exactly what Boston needed to do, was get on the board first and get on the board early.
Comes in short. Morgan tries to enter it into the 6. Gets knocked out.
And Boston really locked in on that corner. They gave Alex Morgan no chance to get a cross off.
Morgan will pop it up out of play. And a goal kick for the Breakers. Mentioned just before that goal, this is the 2nd of 3 matchups between the Breakers and Thorns, with the Breakers winning 2-0 in Portland back on the 6th of July. Portland will come back here on August 7th to play the Breakers again. So a 3-game series this year, with Portland coming to Boston twice. Morgan couldn't control it as Avant plays it back, but kept in, and that will slowly trickle by the end line. And another corner kick for Portland. Let's see the Breakers defense again, if they can shut it off completely.
You know, they kind of let that one dribble out, and there maybe was a chance to stop that corner, and I don't know if I necessarily would have given Portland another chance to have a corner kick.
Comes in the header, Sinclair sends it wide.
So with a defense that's, you know, been playing very well lately for Boston, they need to keep this up. You know, they need to contain the offense of Portland today.
Fall River Youth Soccer Association, the Grand State Youth Soccer League, Vipers FC, West Side Shockers,
Sinclair.
Quick Strike Soccer, Holliston Youth Soccer.
There's a shot and a dive and a save by Phillips at the post. Another corner kick, though, coming for Portland.
And that was Tobin Heath right there.
Seacoast United Soccer Club.
She's got great ball skills. She's a very technical player. And she has international experience as well for Team USA. She's been playing with them since 2008.
Only playing in her 2nd game of the season as the corner kick comes in, headed by Whitehill. It comes down for Shim.
Yeah, Heath was playing for Paris Saint-Germain at the beginning of this year.
Bueller. Near side tap to Foxhoven. Cross into the box. Knocked away by Whitehill, as she always seems to do. Sinclair will pop it up off the crossbar. And the fight for it, and it goes up and over.
I think Alex Morgan, maybe she's a little shaken up on that one, the collision with Whitehill, but she was right there to make that header, and I think she wants to have that one back.
And the referee is calling the trainer out onto the field.
Yeah, she really collided heads, it looked like, with Whitehill, so.
Yeah, Morgan and Whitehill fighting for that second ball that came off of the crossbar. Able to take a second look at it. As Sinclair found room for a shot off that crossbar, and then Whitehill, as it goes up and over, and Whitehill and Morgan fighting for it.
You know, you have to be careful with concussions and stuff like that. So Alex Morgan is walking off the field right now under own power. I guess they'll make sure she's okay for now, and maybe she'll come back in.
So we're back to action. Breakers lead 1-0 on the goal in the 13th minute from Leanne Sanderson. Comes back to Doherty. And Doherty sends it along to the far sideline. And there's Alex Morgan getting knocked down again. And she's called for the foul.
I think they just got tangled up a little bit there. I don't know necessarily if that was a foul call, but a quick restart for Boston. And it's back to the action.
Sanderson plays it for Simon. Simon, one-on-one with Doherty. Gets space with the left foot, and the cross didn't get all the way through. It was intended for LaRue.
LaRue was there for that far post, so they just have to keep peppering and keep firing.
Comes back out, Noguera, gets it to Sanderson. Sanderson lost her footing. Now Whitehill in the center circle against Sinclair. And that ball sent ahead, and too much pace on it for Sinclair to get to it. Phillips will come out and make sure there's no dangerous situation for her. And this one will go off the end line as Nikki Marshall lets it go, so LeBlanc will have the goal kick.
The Boston Breakers would like to wish a very happy birthday to Kim and Alexis Rodriguez, Laura McMullen, Mia Sense, Katie Entz, Megan White, Maggie McBride, and Sydney Heavey. Happy birthday from the Breakers.
Simon, center of the field, true to LaRue, but couldn't get her foot on it.
But LaRue had an angle in that defender, so had she gotten a touch, she would have been able to cut and take it right to goal. I don't know if Portland is frustrated. It kind of looks like it. They're taking a lot of foul calls that they don't normally take as a team or get as a team. So I think they really don't want to be in this winless streak, and they want it to end today.
0-2-2 in the last four. Have only scored one goal. That came in the last matchup against Western New York, a 1-1 draw. Portland on the season is a +5 in goal differential. And now +4 with the Breakers' 1-0 advantage today. After today, the Breakers will go to FC Kansas City, middle of the week. That's the makeup from all the way back on April 20th. As Sydney LaRue, the league leader in goals, throws it in. And that header from Noguera, an easy save by LeBlanc, and Noguera is slow to get up. Connects with Morgan. Morgan against McNeil. Gets spaced with the left foot, and a save by Phillips at the post. Popped back up by Morgan. Trying to send it right back in front of the goal. Nobody there. A teammate for her. Portland, though, keeps possession in deep. Doherty will throw it in. Twenty-third minute of action. Sanderson from Simon, the goal for the Breakers in the 13th minute. And here comes Alex Morgan with an open net. And just like that, Portland ties it up at 1, 6th goal of the season.
Yeah, I think Phillips, you know, it's a 50-50 chance. She came out and tried to touch that one, but Alex Morgan is just too fast, and she took a great touch around the goalie to score that one. So just like that, we got a tie game.
So Portland, just now their second goal, and this is the 5th game of that stretch, but early here, we have a whistle. We'll take a look at the replay, and as you see Phillips come after it, and Morgan just able to direct it right by Phillips, and then obviously a wide open goal, and she's probably not going to miss that. Maybe once out of 100 she might miss that.
Yeah, Phillips really probably should have stayed back on that one. Alex Morgan was so much closer to the ball and had such a great touch just to get it around Phillips, and then it was an easy shot for her.
So Morgan, the unassisted tally, equalizes things here. We're in the 25th minute, and this play blown down.
Obviously for Boston, they can't, get down on themselves or anything like that. They've been playing pretty strong, and they need to keep firing. This is a great chance for Kat Whitehill to send the ball into the mixer.
LaRue chips it. O'Reilly gets to it. Bounces around and then taken away by Nikki Marshall. Marshall leads it forward to the foot of Foxhoven. Foxhoven trying to go up the sideline and connect with Morgan. Got knocked out by King. Quickly played back in, though. Joanna Lohman for Simon. Directs it towards Sanderson, but taken back by the Thorns. And then having trouble with the ball, and Sanderson takes it away. She sends it long for the speedy LaRue, and not enough speed, though, to get to it, as there first is Bueller. Throw in for Portland.
Bueller's one of the leaders back there on the defense. She's got experience with Team USA, and she is very fearless when it comes to tackles. She'll go for it, and that's a great quality to have for her, especially with a speedy LaRue or Simon. It's great that Bueller will just go for it.
And that throw-in goes right out of bounds. Hashtag Breakers TV to join the conversation. Saying hello to Vanessa watching the game in Florida. She's rooting for Boston, but she is a Washington Spirit fan. 27th minute. as King overlapping to go after it. Portland, though, looking to break out of their end. Cleared out of bounds. Portland, after today, returns home for a matchup Saturday against Chicago. And already mentioned the Breakers play a midweek game, the makeup, at FC Kansas City. That's on a Wednesday. Good look at Alex Morgan tracking it down on the near sideline. Sends it to the opposite side of the field, but out of the range.
Fans, be sure to follow @NikeSoccer on Twitter or visit NikeSoccer.com for all the latest news and information on Nike soccer products.
Morgan, quick give and go attempt with Foxhoven. Breakers able to break it up. Sanderson, right up the middle of the field. O'Reilly gets bumped momentarily. Gives a little bump back with Morgan.
Yeah, O'Reilly's been pushing up a little bit, and she's playing that attacking midi position. She's making some great runs today.
LaRue high in the air. Lohman tries to go for the header. Didn't get a piece of it. Sanderson can't get to it for the Breakers as it goes out off the foot of a Portland player. So the throw in. Jasmine Avant, who was playing in her 5th game since being signed as a free agent. She, of course, began the year with Portland, playing in 4 games and making 2 starts. She paid dividends immediately for the Breakers, had an assist in that win against Sky Blue FC. That was 3 weeks ago, 3-2.
And she brings an element of speed that's going to be crucial today because Alex Morgan is one of the fastest players in the world. So having Avant back there definitely helps boost this defense with a speed factor.
Into the 30th minute. As LaRue at the top of the box sends it across to the far post. Just couldn't sneak it in, or she may have been trying to lead it to O'Reilly as well at that post. LaRue had 2 goals against Portland on the 6th. Now 10 goals on the season. Entered play today tied for the league lead with Abby Wambach.
I think she'd love to take sole possession of the lead, and Boston would love to have her do it here with a goal.
Sanderson for the Breakers and Morgan for the Thorns. Here in this first half, making the score 1-1. As Julie King, who has started in 15 of 16 games for the Breakers this season on the back line. Calls for the ball once again on the throw-in.
King's very athletic. She played soccer and then walked onto the basketball team at Auburn. So she is just a very athletic player. She's great to be back there, too.
And we've seen her more recently step up into the offensive end as well.
Yeah,
she does have an assist on the season.
She makes the overlapping runs because of her speed. She can do that and come back.
O'Reilly trying to go to LaRue and got knocked down. The Breakers looking potentially for a handball. And King will send it back in quickly. King to O'Reilly. O'Reilly left foot into the box. We should try to get that to Simon, but and now played all the way back to the center circle. As we are 31 minutes in. Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler, Alex Sims on the sideline. We thank you for tuning in to Breakers Soccer, presented by Media Boss Television. The end of the 15th week of the NWSL season. The only game going on right now, the Breakers and the Thorns.
Both these teams really would like a win today. For Boston, it would push them back up into 5th place ahead of Chicago, and Portland hasn't won in their last 4 games, so they'd like that. And that would help them move back up into 2nd place. So,
and Portland for right now is tied for 3rd with Western New York at 27 points. Western New York, though, has played 17 games. This is the 16th game for Portland. In fact, both Boston and Portland have a game in hand on Western New York. And the Breakers and Flash will play here on August the 3rd. O'Reilly brings it back towards the center, sends it to the far side and try to sneak it in that top right corner. Good attempt there by O'Reilly.
Yeah, that was a great attempt by O'Reilly. She caught him off guard. She had a very strong shot. It was just a little bit too high.
Portland, the next 2 weekends, will be on center stage with those Fox Soccer games of the week, hosting Chicago, as we mentioned, this coming Sunday. Actually, yes, Sunday. I believe I said Saturday, but it is Sunday. And then the week after, they'll host Kansas City. Breakers will make their appearance on Fox Soccer on August the 17th when they play at Western New York, and that is the final game of the season, regular season. And then the semifinals on the 24th and the championship of the inaugural season of the NWSL on the 31st as Morgan trying to get to the loose ball. Sinclair settles it down. Gets checked by Lohman and Avant. Goes out for a Portland throw-in.
Yeah, Portland was looking to try and quickly catch Boston in transition and force something really fast up top, but Boston recovered very well.
And that one goes out. Going to say hello to Leah, who is a Thorns fan, but she watches every match from Ecuador. So we welcome her to the broadcast here today. I don't know the time in Ecuador right now.
It's probably something close to this. Close
You're
to our
probably
time
right.
zone.
Yep. I just proved that I'm not very good at geography. That's okay. That's why I do this. Now I'll probably get a tweet saying something else, so I just set myself up for that. As we are 34 minutes in, Sanderson in the 13th minute, Morgan in the 24th, tied it up for Portland. Breakers pushing up the field. And Avant gets knocked down. Defense by Heath. And it'll be corner here for the Breakers.
That was a great kind of string of passes from LaRue to Sanderson to Avant to switch fields very quickly and try and cut around the Portland defense over there. And you get a corner kick off it, so that's a great chance for Boston right here.
O'Reilly tees things up. With the right foot right to Noguera. Couldn't get her head on it. Sent in by McNeil. Played off of the 6. And it'll roll back to Julie King. Left foot back into the box. Breakers trying to keep the pressure on. Sanderson. And that's headed away. Had Simon and LaRue there at that post.
Yeah, Simon was in a great spot for that. It was Doherty who knocked it away.
You had Morgan in the area as well. And LaRue takes that long pass and just, at the very least, able to throw it towards the net with her head. Or head it towards the net. Make it a save for LeBlanc. Morgan sends it through Sinclair, and this time Phillips comes up and able to knock it away back to midfield.
That was a little risky by Phillips. Sinclair was right on her, but Phillips had just a step to get that one away.
Heath, and that's offside, Sinclair. 37 minutes in. 1-1 is your score, Breakers and Thorns.
Sinclair's pushing up. I think she knows how important it is going to be, you know, to go into the locker room with a lead. And I think I think everyone wants to be the one that gets on the board first. But Sinclair's pushing up a little bit to try and get that goal and put Portland ahead before halftime.
Leah has tweeted back in. It's actually 1 hour behind.
Oh.
So it's only, that makes sense. So it's not even 4 o'clock there yet. As Lohman touches it for O'Reilly, dances along the sideline, tries to split two defenders. Doherty is knocked down by O'Reilly, and the foul whistled.
Doherty is a very smart player. She's versatile. She's played a lot of different positions, so she understands how other pieces of the puzzle work. So she's a great defender on her, and she's got her hands full with Heather O'Reilly up there.
And that looked to grab a hand or an arm, and they will call it. Crowd a little more quiet than we thought they would be, but as we talked about, very humid. Really zaps the energy out of you, which is interesting to see maybe if there's any changes on the field at halftime.
Yeah, we heard him when the 2 goals were scored, so things have settled down a little bit. The crowd needs something to get excited about.
Yeah, this Breakers team, at least the fans are obviously rooting for the Breakers, but then when you have Alex Morgan score for Portland as well, they're all pretty excited to see that too.
I think
kind of the best of both worlds for some of the fans here.
Good soccer too, so and we've got a great game today.
Both teams fighting, well, Portland right now fighting for positioning in the playoffs, but they obviously haven't secured anything, as Phillips again comes way off her line to knock it away. So she's 2 for 3 doing that so far today. And the one, of course, Alex Morgan, able to slip it by and then put it in the empty net.
That's really risky for her to be doing in some of these situations. So she just really needs to make sure if she's going to go for it, she can get it.
Goal kick here for Phillips, who is making her 9th start of the season. She's from Beverly, Massachusetts, so nearby here, did play collegiately at Clemson. Alyssa Nair out after the surgery to repair a broken nose. She did play a couple of games after suffering that injury. In fact, had the shutout against Portland, in Portland.
She was playing with a mask, but she had to get surgery to repair it. She is out for now, but she should be back before the season's over.
She's been a nice addition to the goalkeeping core, and of course the team still has Cecilia Santiago, 18-year-old Mexican player, and she's made 3 starts and has looked fairly good as well. So your third option in goalkeeping is still a very, certainly a promising up-and-comer.
Yeah, and for Santiago, you know, the Mexican national team is just really excited that she's getting the experience to play with some of these players and the best in the world, and just seeing, you know, helps you learn as a player as well.
Leanne Sanderson has the goal for the Breakers today, her 2nd of the season, to go along with a league-high 7 assists. So she has played in all 16 games of the season, and she started in all, 15 of those. She was Player of the Week back in Week 7 when she had those 3 assists against Washington. That was on this field. 41 minutes in. These two teams played the first time. Portland outshot Boston 20-16. So far, unofficially today, it's 5-4 in favor of Portland.
Well, with the offensive power that Portland has, you know, you have to think that they'd be getting a lot of shots off. Hopefully, they're just not great shots or shots on goal.
Right, 20 of those, out of those 20 shots, only 7 of them were on goal in that 2-0 shutout win for Boston. Played that game in front of 12,436 in Portland. A fantastic soccer area, of course, and they have the MLS team as well, the Portland Timbers, that they share the stadium with.
And that was great for Boston to play in such a large crowd and kind of feel that energy. Dilboy Stadium doesn't have the amount of space to fit that many people.
And one of those atmospheres, I'm sure they went out there and they loved walking off with that 2-0 victory in front of 12,000 fans. As it'll be picked up here by Phillips, and really the Pacific Northwest with Seattle and Portland, and both the MLS and the NWSL have really packed the stands and shown that they're a rabid soccer base. In fact, they had that U.S. men's national game played in Seattle just I believe a month ago, and that crowd was great. It was fantastic, and they might go back there real soon. Portland has been a good road team this year, 4-1-2. Breakers 3-2-2 at home. On a 4-game unbeaten streak. Portland is on a 4-game winless streak, so either we'll see things continue to go the same way, or one team or both teams would break a streak, potentially.
Well, Boston doesn't want to break their streak. They definitely want to finish the season strong, push for that last playoff spot. Portland doesn't want to continue to fall in the standings. So
tough week, though, with 3 games in the course of 7 days. In the 44th minute, Sanderson on the far sideline. Kaya Simon, who had the assist to Sanderson on that goal. LaRue trying to work away from a double team, able to deflect it off of a white uniform, and now we'll throw it in. Avant will do it. Foxhoven plays it back for Monashim. Left off there as the cross gets blocked out by Avant. So nice play from Portland to just quickly gain a corner kick with 30 seconds remaining in the regulation period of the first half, and see how much time will be added. A lot of corner kicks for Portland. This is their 6th already. Haven't gained a strong opportunity off of them, though. As it comes out, punched by Phillips, and then played out by King.
Yeah, great job, Phillips, punching that one out and really going for it. And King to make sure she got that second ball and got it away. Boston's done a great job today defending these corner kicks.
LaRue tried to spin away. There's 1 minute of added time.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The 4th official has indicated that the referee will be adding a minimum of 1 minute of additional time to the end of the first half.
Sinclair taps it for Doherty. Now leaves it off for Sinclair to go get. The cross knocked away and out. Corner kick for Portland. Number 7 already.
And I don't think McNeil was too happy with that touch. I think she wanted to kick it out of the sidelines and not that back line.
They quickly play it in. The header goes wide. That was Heath with the feed.
Trying to catch Boston off guard. Caught us a little bit off guard. They reset really quickly for there, and luckily Boston was able to come up with a stop there.
Should only be seconds remaining in the added time. And there is the whistle to end the first half. Leanne Sanderson scores in the 13th minute, assisted by Kaya Simon. And then Alex Morgan scores unassisted in the 24th minute to tie it up at 1-1. And that'll be our score as we head to halftime. So we'll take a break, come back, and we'll have some stats and highlights, and of course the second half of action for you. Breakers and Thorns tied up at 1 after 45 minutes of action. Welcome back to Dilboy Stadium. We're at halftime. 1-1 is the score. Leanne Sanderson scored the first goal of the game. That came in the 13th minute. and it was assisted by Kaya Simon, Sanderson's second goal of the season, and for Simon, her second assist. As we take another look at it, Simon able to direct it towards Sanderson, and then she beats LeBlanc. That made it 1-0 in the 13th minute. So for Sanderson, mentioned her second goal of the season to go along with a league-high 7 assists on the season, and Simon her second assist this year for the Breakers. And then Portland was able to tie things up 11 minutes later, 24th minute. Alex Morgan able to score her 6th goal of the season. As we take a look at it, and that long pass as Morgan plays it right by Phillips, who come well up to try to go after it, be very aggressive, and it backfired for her. So Morgan tied it up. And so 1-1 is the score. As we are just about ready for the second half, we'll take a look at some of the halftime stats. In that first half, Portland outshot Boston 6-4, 5-2 in shots on goal. Portland had 7 corner kicks, the Breakers with just 2. 4 fouls for the Thorns, 3 for the Breakers. And then offsides, 2 for Portland and none for Boston in the first 45 minutes. So nothing's settled, of course, in the first 45 minutes with a 1-1 score. And now just about set for this second half of action. Again, join the conversation, hashtag BreakersTV on Twitter. We'll say hello to Becky, who is watching in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's 11 o'clock over there.
These, early afternoon games give some of the fans around the world, maybe they don't have to stay up until 2 in the morning. They can stay up till midnight instead. That's a little more doable. And
I think also this helps Portland out a little bit with a long trip back home. They get out a little bit earlier here today as opposed to maybe a 6 or 7 o'clock start here in Boston. Of course, they gain 3 hours on the West Coast trip, but still get them back as early as possible. As Portland played at, actually hosted Western New York their last game. So they came from Portland for this game. So 2 quick cross-country trips.
And they'll come back.
And they'll be back here on August 7th. Second half is underway. Portland will move right to left in those white road uniforms.
I think both coaches, obviously, there's positives and negatives to take from the first half. Both of these teams really want the win tonight. They don't want to settle for a tie. They don't want to lose. So it's important to shoot early and shoot often for both teams.
As LaRue able to get to it. And sends it towards the box. O'Reilly. O'Reilly has it knocked back, and Jasmine Avant, Lohman. No changes were made, or none that we are aware of, up here in the booth. As we are 1 minute into the second half. As LaRue fighting for it, gets knocked down. Foul whistled on Portland.
Yeah, the crowd's quieted down a little bit too. There hasn't been a lot of action since those 2 early goals. Not too many chances for either team.
Kat Whitehill sends it through and picked up by LeBlanc. And she'll punt it away. Whitehill chips it to Noguera. Noguera in the center circle, trying to slip it through to Sanderson. And she gets wrestled down. Another foul on Portland.
It's a 6th foul for Portland today, and they're not usually a very super foul aggressive team, so you can tell that they're really frustrated with the way they've been playing lately, and they really want to win today.
Entered last 4 games, just 1 goal, and scoring in the first half today. Winless in their last 4. Breakers are unbeaten in their last 4. As that's sent harmlessly across and out for a goal kick. Welcome you into the broadcast. Scott Sudakoff, Matty Sattler, Alex Sims on the sideline. We're at Dilboy Stadium. It's now overcast and still humid in Somerville, Massachusetts. Had this over a week heat wave as Leanne Sanderson breaks free momentarily, trying to thread it through.
I think Sanderson thought LaRue was making that run, but LaRue was a little miscommunication, and LeBlanc was easily able to come and get that one.
Dilboy Stadium also home to some high school athletics as well as a women's professional football team, the Boston Militia. And then, of course, here are the Boston Breakers. Breakers have had a few homes over the years. Now calling Dilboy Stadium home for now.
With it being a new league and a new, everything, there's a lot of learning, a lot of things that we can improve on as the season continues on and for the future. Dilboy Stadium, for one, there were a lot of fans here, not a lot of parking. So
one of the issues that hopefully will get worked out, especially moving into another year and as this league continues to grow. And one of the unfortunate things was we had new stands put into the stadium that fortunately not able to be used, and now they're not there anymore. I just noticed actually that on that far side of the field, those stands are actually gone now. They were open for 1 game and really added to the atmosphere here at Dilboy Stadium. But right now on this near side, things are packed. They're a little quiet for the time being. Sellout crowd. They were releasing standing room tickets at the gate today. And you can see in the background that parking lot is jammed to capacity. To see Alex Morgan and the Portland Thorns take on the Breakers. And there is Morgan, knocked away by McNeil. Morgan coming off of that just incredible 2012 where she scored 28 goals, had 21 assists in 31 matches.
just the second player to score 20 goals and 20 assists in a calendar year. So, and she's still so young. She's only 24 years old, so she's got a long career, a great future ahead of her.
Vaunt will play it and then tap it to her keeper, Phillips, who in the first half made 4 saves. 2 saves thus far for LeBlanc today. Heath, mishit. Simon gets it through and connects with Noguera, trying to turn upfield. Stumbling there on that far side was O'Reilly, and Portland takes the ball. Trying to be sent in and deflected. So a corner kick here for Portland. First one of the second half, 8th of the game. And they play it in quickly. They've done that a lot. Chipped in towards the box. The header attempt missed. Right there at the 6. That was Doherty coming all the way up, trying to get her head on it.
Hey, Breakers fans, are you on Twitter and Facebook?
And all game long, Boston has done a really good job shutting down and not giving Portland a huge, great chance to make a score on the corner kick. So good job again for Boston there.
At Facebook.com/Boston Breakers.
LeBlanc kicks it away to midfield. Second ball comes down and knocked around. And the Thorns able to gain possession. Coming right at you with the ball, Ali Long. Taps in middle of the field for Heath as they switch sides with it. And that's knocked off a white uniform, so a Breakers throw in. Leanne Sanderson scoring in the 13th minute. Alex Morgan in the 24th. It was 1-1 at halftime. Breakers won the first meeting between these two teams 2-0 back on the 6th of July in Portland. They'll play one more time right here on August 7th. Both teams fighting for playoff positioning. Certainly Portland is, and Boston just fighting to get into that top four for the time being.
Yeah, especially, you know, heading down the stretch, every game matters.
That cross attempt gets knocked away. Well, Portland will keep possession. Quick throw-in. So Portland is kept with that quick restarts on the corner kicks and the throw-ins. Heath, pair of 17s matched up. Nikki Marshall sends it to the center. Tap for Sinclair. Sinclair threads it through. And Portland gains another corner kick. Heath with the left foot to the far post, headed in the air by Whitehill. And then a foul will be whistled on Portland as Simon had a Thorn go up on her back there, trying to go after it.
Right there, you see just how smart of a player Kat Whitehill is. She knew exactly where the ball was going to be. There wasn't even a Portland Thorn player near. She just was in the perfect spot to head that one away and then cleared her defense out.
Sanderson going after it. And gets Bueller there defensively, does a good job. Bueller at 5'5", Sanderson 5'6", so pretty even matchup. Comes back to Mariah Noguera. Breakers, much like the first half, were slow offensively to get things going. Let's see if now they can start to work it towards LeBlanc in net. Sanderson has it knocked away. And Portland trying to come back on the counterattack. Tobin Heath plays it through. Connects with Shim and then trying to go for Morgan. McNeil couldn't control it. Morgan takes it back. Morgan with the left foot to the far side and goes up and over.
There you just see how dangerous of a player Alex Morgan is. That was a great shot. Great, you know, strike by her. She's so strong. And luckily for Boston, she did not get a goal on that one.
Scored back in the 24th minute for her 6th goal of the season. She, along with Portland as a team, has been in a bit of a drought. Just 2 goals in the last 5 matches right now. Heath against Lohman and Avant. Tap to Morgan from Sinclair. Back to Sinclair. Tries to center it. And a nice play by McNeil to get back into play and force the corner kick instead of allowing that centering opportunity.
Yeah, that was a really tricky run by Sinclair to do kind of an overlap, but a curving overlap towards the goal. And Boston so far today has done a pretty good job containing Sinclair, who is 3rd all-time internationally in scoring.
She had that one opportunity earlier off the crossbar that led to the Alex Morgan header attempt as that is headed out. Comes back to Heath. Sends it back towards the line. Again, Phillips able to get a hand on it that time, and Sanderson clears it out.
Boston right there really defended as a team. You saw Heather O'Reilly came up to pressure Heath, and then Leanne Sanderson knocked the ball, ultimately got the ball out.
Now the Breakers rush it up the other side. Simon sends it out for O'Reilly to get there, but just a little too far out in front, making the play defensively. Nikki Marshall, quick throw in. O'Reilly back for Avant. And then goes by Lohman. Maybe miscommunication there.
I think she was trying to let that one go through for Noguera, but Portland player intercepted that one.
And then Morgan gets tangled up with McNeil, and they I believe they called a foul on Morgan. Doesn't seem too happy about it. 58 minutes in. 1-1 was the score at halftime. As Whitehill sent it to the far side and trying to corral it was Noguera. Couldn't do so.
Yeah, she needed to get more of her body in front of that one instead of trying to kick her leg up.
Sanderson spins away from a defender, gets the ball to Simon. Now O'Reilly in the center. Can't connect with Sanderson, but Avant steps up and then can't control it. Heath trying to play it up to Morgan, who gets sent back in. Portland trying to work out of the defensive end. Whitehill steps up, comes out of the center circle. Gives to Sanderson, then goes straight up the middle, trying to get a return pass. Sanderson keeps it along the sideline. It'll be a Breaker throw-in.
Breakers fans, 2014 season tickets go on sale August 1st. Purchase your 2014 season ticket quickly in order to receive early bird discount rates and be entered to win Boston Breakers prizes. Visit www.breakerstickets.com for more information.
Want to say hello to Laura Boyd, tweeting in using the hashtag BreakersTV. Very kind words for the broadcast. We appreciate that. Again, hashtag BreakersTV to join the conversation, as I think everybody says when it comes to Twitter, join the conversation. As the Breakers and Thorns tied up at 1 apiece, or at Dilboy Stadium, Somerville, Massachusetts, just a stone's throw from the heart of Boston. Maybe a little further.
Depending on traffic.
Today, it only took about 10 minutes to get here. Sometimes it takes half an hour. As that ball gets bounced around, the Breakers their good defensive stand. Had five blue jerseys, he tried to say, around one white one. Heath out to the far side. Simon gives space. Breakers pack it in back deep. Quick tap and go. Centering pass knocked by Whitehill. Played up to Sanderson as the Breakers try to counterattack. Connects with O'Reilly.
Yeah, and when McNeil intercepted that, it looked like no Portland player was even pressuring her, so she had all the time, not all the time, but she had a lot of time to clear it. So that's not what you want to see from your Portland offense.
A bad pass there for the Breakers, picked off by Marion Doherty, who was starting her 14th game of the season. Defensively for Portland. Picking it up, Nikki Marshall gets it through. This is Sinclair. Sinclair stops, sends it to the other side of the box, and that is Morgan again, and she gets knocked down and slow to get up. And I think she's okay. Actually, that's not Morgan, excuse me. My apologies. Daniel Foxhoven, who we've seen actually down a couple of times so far now today, but she's okay.
Yeah, it looked like she was kind of stretching a hamstring or something, so maybe she cramped up and went down.
Now, sometimes an announcer will misidentify an injured player like that, although I'm sure people would appreciate me not misidentifying it as Alex Morgan for various reasons. Although you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I think you get my point. Don't want to see such a top star ever be down on the field hurt, but it wasn't her. It was Danielle Foxhoven, and she's okay anyways, so we move on.
Yeah, and if you can see some of the reserve players are getting loose, warming up, so you have to think with the heat and the humidity, maybe both coaches are going to make some changes soon.
At the very least, the sun has not been shining for most of this game, so just a little bit of relief. And Actually, I mean, if this game was played a couple days ago, it'd be a lot different circumstance. Where there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was in the mid-90s, and if you were outside for a while, it felt like well into the hundreds. As Breakers will get a corner kick. Heather O'Reilly will go do the honors.
And I think Heather O'Reilly was really pushing for that corner kick. There really wasn't anyone making a run towards the goal. All she simply had to do was knock it off the Portland Thorns player, and here Boston has their third corner kick of the game.
O'Reilly with the corner. Comes down, McNeil, the header. And LeBlanc got help on the line. Comes down to Whitehill.
Yeah, great job by Nikki Marshall right there, who was on the post and really put her entire body in front of that shot and prevented a goal for Boston, really saved a goal for Boston.
Look like we might be getting a little bit of rain right now coming through the stadium. Right now, things seem all clear. Is throw in from Nikki Marshall, and I know for it does start raining, that'll send a lot of our camera people into a quick moment of panic, try to get things covered up. I think they're getting prepared right now, just in case that happens. As we are into the 65th minute, Boston 1, Portland 1. Goals from Sanderson for Boston and Morgan for Portland. Those were in the first half. 13th minute for Sanderson, 24th minute for Morgan. As Nikki Marshall trying to get through two defenders. Gets it to Morgan, back to Marshall, and bounced around. And then that comes loose, and McNeil plays it forward towards the center circle. LaRue taps it for O'Reilly, has Sanderson up ahead. O'Reilly. Left foot goes off the back of a defender. And the maybe accidental defensive play does the job for the Thorns. They're trying to get back in the win column for the first time in 4 games, maybe now 5 games, as they've been winless for 4 entering play today. Whitehill plays it back for Phillips. And make sure to keep it away from the attacking white uniform. Simon spins off of the defender, Marshall. LaRue couldn't get to the loose ball. Breakers press up as Lohman leaves for O'Reilly. O'Reilly will chip it towards the net. Sanderson was there defensively knocking it away. Allie Long.
Yeah, that was a great cross by O'Reilly and a great fast break by Boston. Sanderson was in a great spot on that far post. The defender got in her way.
Here comes Morgan. Got 2 blue jerseys around her, McNeil, as well as Avant. Team up to take it away.
That's a giveaway you don't usually see by O'Reilly.
Comes on the near side, Marshall. Portland taking their time right now, looking for an opening. Tobin Heath. Up the middle, Lohman pops it up into the air, comes down to Sanderson. Sanderson fights through. And now here is Jasmine Avant. Her 5th game with the Breakers after playing the first 4 games of her season with Portland. O'Reilly to LaRue. LaRue, the shot and the save by LeBlanc, and she pushes it off to the far side and out of bounds for a corner kick.
That was a great job by LaRue. She got around her defender. LeBlanc came up with a great stop right there, but, credit her for that. And here, Boston, this is another opportunity. This is something they really need to take advantage of.
See one of the top goal scorers in the league against one of the top goalies there. LeBlanc second in saves entering play today. LaRue tied for first in goals, and that's a matchup you like to see. As O'Reilly with the corner kick. It'll come down. Headed up. Morgan was in there for Portland, and I believe offsides on Boston.
And, you know, the U.S.-Canada rivalry is kind of something that's become bigger and bigger throughout the year. So that's LaRue for U.S. versus LeBlanc for Canada.
Mentioned Christine Sinclair is, of course, a member of the Canadian national team, and she's third all-time international goal scoring, now behind Wambach and Mia Hamm. And that it bounced up over the head of Avant. It come down to Foxhoven, but couldn't turn it into an opportunity. Almost a bad break for the Breakers.
And you see with the U.S.-Canada rivalry, both teams have allocated players from both national teams. So it's kind of weird going from playing against them.
And a lot of that, obviously, throughout this league and with the allocations from all the national teams. As Sinclair, her cross was headed towards Foxhoven. And now coming up and getting a shot off was Shim. But the defense again by Avant. You saw a thumbs up there from Phillips towards Avant. Likes the defensive play from the newcomer who joined the squad on June the 28th. And then was right in action 2 days later, had an assist.
Yeah, she's really been thrown into the fire. She's made an appearance in all of the Breakers games that she's been a part of the team. So, and she's great to have back there. She's got speed, she's smart, she's fearless, so.
The defense, of course, has been one of the problem areas for the Breakers throughout the season. You lose Bianca DeAgostino to start the year, and then some revolving door action on that back line. You had Joe Dragata playing out of position a lot on defense, so the Avant pickup was a huge one. As the substitution upcoming, Danielle Foxhoven will go out, and coming in is Tiffany Weimer.
And Foxhoven's been taking some hits today, so it's great. You know, she probably needs a break. Weimer's 29 years old. She's had a lot of experience all over the world. She's kind of local. She's from Connecticut, so just provide some fresh legs, and especially in a hot day like today.
And from Connecticut, played at Penn State. Also was with the Breakers for half of the 2010 season. This is Morgan getting out to it against McNeil. Trying to find some open space. Was none for her. It's a corner, though, for Portland. Number 10 for the Thorns. Third here in the second half, as Heath, who I believe has taken the majority of the corners, is back up there again.
Well, great job by McNeil.
To the far side and going up to get it, Ashley Phillips. So no opportunity for the Thorns to cash in.
Yeah, great job by McNeil going up against Alex Morgan and really preventing her from getting around the corner and getting a shot off.
Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler, Alex Sims on the field here at Dilboy Stadium. We thank you for tuning in. Breakers and Thorns here. And again, let us know where you're watching from. Hashtag Breakers TV on Twitter as we're in the 72nd minute. A 1-1 game. That was the score at halftime. Julie King pushing up. Will send that one up over the crossbar and out of play.
Breakers fans, please join us after the conclusion of tonight's match in Autograph Valley to get autographs from members of both teams.
Started a busy week for the Breakers. 3 games in 7 days. Wednesday they'll be at Kansas City before Saturday's matchup at the Washington Spirit. Portland will be off until next Sunday when they will host Chicago in the nationally televised Fox Soccer Game of the Week. In fact, they'll be on that 2 straight weeks. Chicago on the 28th, and then August 4th, they will host Kansas City. And expect very big and raucous crowds for those games.
And it's great that Fox Soccer is giving the NWSL a little publicity. It helps bring attention to the league, and hopefully it'll be a league that can continue for many years and expand.
Tap from Sinclair to Morgan. Back out. Trying to enter towards the box. It's headed by Shim. Defense there from King against Heath, and now Lohman plays it along the sideline, and it's a throw-in for Portland. 74th minute. In the air, and Phillips goes and gets it. McNeil slow to get up behind the play.
Well, Phillips is going to slow it down, clear everyone out, get a good punt off this one, and Boston's going to try and get the transition.
Racing after it, O'Reilly. As you now are able to tell, it is starting to rain a bit here at Dilboy Stadium. Seems like the crowd is mostly enjoying it, though. It was a nice, refreshing sprinkle. That's the corner kick. O'Reilly. As you can see the rain falling on the screen. And right to LeBlanc, right in the traffic. Able to, didn't really have to go up high for it either. Let it come down to her.
I think O'Reilly wanted to get that one more a little bit away from the goal to give her offense a chance to head it in. But LeBlanc is right there, right ready for that one.
Comes down from Morgan, settles it, leaves it off. Running after it is Marshall, but can't get there. So 15 minutes remain in regulation in this match. Breakers scored 13th minute, Leanne Sanderson. 24th minute, Alex Morgan. That is it for this 1-1 score. The Breakers 5-5-5. 6th place, Portland 8-4-3. 3rd place. Top 4 make the NWSL playoffs. So Breakers are looking for 3 points at all costs. Working their way back up the standings. And a streaky team. Started the year unbeaten in the first 4, then had a streak in the middle of the year of winless in 5, and now unbeaten in 4. Trying to keep that streak going. Throw in from Avant, headed up by Noguera. And finally comes down Sanderson. She'll play it back for Whitehill.
It's a good idea to try and switch it right there. Julie King had a great lane, but Weimer cut that one off really quickly.
Simon has her pass that was intended to go out wide to O'Reilly, deflected away. And Portland, Tobin Heath races forward. Gives it out to Morgan. Left foot going up high and up over the crossbar. A laser off the left foot of Alex Morgan. But up over the crossbar. That was quick and sudden off the left foot of Morgan.
Yeah, she's so strong. So, you know, great idea for her, trying catching Boston off guard again. And now we have a substitution.
So Katie Schepfer is going to play. She entered the day probable with a groin injury. Coming out of the match is Mariah Noguera.
So this for Boston, they'll have 3 forwards instead of the 2 forwards and 4 midfielders to try and generate some more offense.
And as the rain starts to pick up a bit more here at Dilboy Stadium. Breakers played in a rainy game against Sky Blue last week, that 0-0 draw.
So we'll see if Schepfer's injury is, anything to be concerned. But if they're putting her in the game, I'm sure that it's nothing too bad.
Weimer, who entered the game a few minutes ago for Portland, plays it through, picked up by Sinclair. Comes all the way down to the other side, and Schepfer's the one to get to it. Quick touch back from Simon, splits Avant and Schepfer. Avant keeps it in, and now a turnover opportunity. Sinclair looking for a shot with the right foot, blocked by Whitehill. Almost a costly mistake there from the Breakers.
Yeah, the miscommunication between Avant and Schepfer off the pass from Simon kind of started that whole series for Portland.
It's Sinclair, who has 4 goals on the season, finds some space for a shot, but Whitehill able to get the block. Played ahead by Shim, but picked up by McNeil. And we'll deposit it back down. And that's going to be picked up. Waiting for some teammates. And coming up, Weimer sends it to the far post, but wide.
That was a good, hard, low shot by Weimer. Great idea, or great job by Sinclair to drop it back, because Weimer had a lot of time to get her footing and get that shot off.
www.bostonbreakersoccer.com for dates, times, and locations.
Again, hashtag Breakers TV. I believe we just had a tweet from somebody. I think they said they were watching Switzerland. Yep, someone from Switzerland. We got fans from Kansas City tuning in to this Breakers Thorns matchup.
And as the league continues to grow, and we have players from more and more countries coming over and playing in the NWSL, it's going to be such more international feel, and we'll get fans. We already have fans from all over the world, but we'll have every country represented.
And obviously, it's great to have the games on the Fox Soccer channel, but that is something that may be limited to American national television. So obviously having the internet streaming across the league, and you could be anywhere as long as you have the internet to tune in. As the rain continues to pick up and coming down fairly hard now. As LaRue sends it towards the goal. And sometimes not a bad idea now with these conditions. Just maybe throw a couple more extra balls towards the net. You never know, there could be a slip, a mistake leading to a goal. And as the Breakers are trying to do, get 3 points in any way possible to work their way back up in the top 4 to make the playoffs. After today, it's just 6 games remaining in the season.
And right there you saw Phillips coming up for that one. It's still a risky play, and now with the rain, you never know when the ball's going to take a weird bounce or a weird hop.
Nikki Marshall able to fight through Schepfer, and then with Avant. And they call the foul on Portland. No, excuse me, they called it on Boston. Bring the ball back. Have our second biggest crowd in this stadium's history. 2,978. Every seat on this near side sold. Even sold some standing room seats as the sun all of a sudden pokes through, but still raining. And I apologize to anybody watching the stream because I think they just got a big burst of light with the way the sun just popped out. And still got rain, and now the sun is shining. And so we've seen it all as the Breakers trying to break a tie here. O'Reilly towards the net. Bounces nicely for LeBlanc. This is quite the scene with the sun shining and the rain still coming down pretty hard. I think it's letting up, though, as that cloud parked overhead is starting to make its way somewhere else.
And as time's winding down, you know, each team is only going to get a few more chances offensively, so they really need to take advantage. Otherwise, this game's going to end the way it is. We have seen a lot of late inning drama.
I think I just got your sports confused, but.
And
late game.
Late game drama in Doughboy Stadium.
It's okay. You were working a baseball game last night. We accept your apology.
Sorry, guys.
And player down for the Breakers. That's Leanne Sanderson. Being checked on by the referee, and Sanderson looks to be holding her midsection and may have just gotten the wind knocked out. And a yellow card is being issued to Portland. Trainer not going to come out onto the field, so Sanderson looks to be okay. They call it on Tobin Heath, so a yellow card for Heath, her second of the season. In the 84th minute, scoring coming back in the 13th minute for Boston, 24th minute for Portland. Sanderson and Morgan, the goal scorers. O'Reilly chips it into the box. Going after it. Whitehill sent it in, and O'Reilly now going after it. And the players look to be confused. They weren't sure if the ball had been blown dead and it was still in play, and then Portland able to work it out. Saw both teams just stop for 1 or 2 seconds.
It's kind of a mental mistake there. You know, you play until the whistle, so ball never went out. And Portland got a break there because they were deep in their own corner.
Deflected off of Schepfer. And the throw-in. So now the sun shining at Dilboy Stadium in the 85th minute after a quick 5-minute rain shower and turned into a sun shower. Heath up the middle of the field. A good pass and a shot, and that is in to make it 2-1 Portland.
That far post, it really snuck into that goal, to the goal right there, so Portland gets this one, making it 2-1.
Check out the replay as Heath made the initial pass. And the goal scored by Shim, assisted by Alex Morgan, to make it 2-1 Portland.
Good job, you know, Morgan saw Shim making that run behind her. An easy pass, and Shim really snuck it in that far post.
Third goal for Shim, 4th assist for Morgan, so Morgan a goal and an assist today. And Portland has scored 2 straight to take the lead.
Portland Thorns FC goal scored in the 86th minute by number 6, Malena Shim. Assist on the play to number 13, Alex Morgan.
Breakers trying to get it back. LaRue couldn't gain control.
I think she thought one of her defenders was going to be pushing up there, which is what Boston needs to do now that they're down. They really need to push up on their defense, but miscommunication there on their part.
Sinclair picks it up for Portland. She's up there alone. Morgan joins her. Gets knocked out. Throw in for Portland.
Portland's just slowing this one down and letting, the final minutes tick off their way. And Boston needs to get possession back and really needs to force the action.
LaRue going to pressure there. Trying to cause a turnover potentially. It's play back to LeBlanc, and she'll use her leg to clear it away. Marshall gives it back to Rachel Bueller. Goes to the opposite side of the field. Sinclair had it taken away. LaRue trying to turn and move forward. LaRue with some space, slides ahead for Schepfer. Now it's O'Reilly trying to send it towards the net to the far side. And tracking it down, LaRue. LaRue with some space. And then off target.
Yeah,
Sydney LaRue.
A little too much on her cross right there. No one was even at the far post to try and get a header. Had the cross been not as strong.
Ticket quickly in order to receive your early bird discount rates and be entered to win Boston Breakers prizes. Visit www.breakerstickets.com for more information.
In the 90th minute, yes, we are in the 90th minute, with Portland leading 2-1. We've had a lot of late game dramatics on this field for either the Breakers or the visiting team. And so now Boston trying to do it on their end, down by a goal. As Portland took the lead late here. Goal scored by Shim, assisted by Morgan. Morgan had the goal back in the first, 86th minute.
And it really seems like Boston isn't playing with a lot of, hurriedness or rushing it. There's only 2 minutes of extra time left, so they really need to step up and really force the action, or else this is going to be the final result.
2 minutes for the Breakers to potentially steal a point and take two away from Portland. The Thorns trying to snap a 4-game winless streak, and the Breakers trying to continue a 4-game unbeaten streak. Both, as of right now, will be ending with less than 2 minutes of added time remaining.
And Boston really just looks so flat right now in these final moments that they don't even want to try and tie this game up.
Let's see if they can have one final burst of energy. And it's cleared down. And now Morgan trying to go 1-on-2, and Whitehill there able to take it away, and Morgan is down face first. She is still down as the play continues up the field. Goes out for a throw-in. Still down on the field. Now rolling over on her back as play continues up the field. And they are going to whistle it now. We're in stoppage time. About a minute supposed to be left, and now the referee will go down the field and check on the injury. As Phillips will help Morgan up. And walking gingerly, but Morgan a goal and assist here today. So she has done her job, giving Portland this 2-1 lead in stoppage time. 86th minute was the second goal. It was scored by Shim, assisted by Morgan. Morgan scored all the way back in the 24th minute. Breakers desperate now.
So here's this one final corner kick. This is it. You know, Portland's going to pull everyone back, and we'll see if Boston can get the first touch on this one.
The corner from O'Reilly, headed out by Portland.
That was a short kick for her.
And that's going to do it. Portland is going to come here to Boston and score 2 straight goals after the Breakers took a 1-0 lead 13 minutes in and come away with a 2-1 victory. Goal scoring summary, Leanne Sanderson in the 13th minute for the Breakers. 24th minute, Alex Morgan tied it. And then Alex Morgan with the assist in the 86th minute on the goal by Milena Shim. And the Thorns win tonight's game by a final score of 2-1. And the Thorns, now up to 30 points, will jump up into second place at 9-4-3. And they are now just 1 point back behind Sky Blue for the top spot in the NWSL. Meanwhile, the Breakers, a tough loss to fall to 5-6-5. And they stay at 20 points, and they stay in 6th place. And they are now 7 points behind Western New York. With 1 game in hand, the 2 teams will play 2 more times. The Breakers will be back in action this coming Wednesday, the makeup game at FC Kansas City, before going to play the Spirit in Washington, D.C., or actually in Maryland, but the Washington Spirit on July the 27th. That is this Saturday. Meanwhile, Portland will go make the cross-country trip back home, and they will take on Chicago at home on Sunday. So, tough loss here for the Breakers. They had looked like they were playing well enough, as you see. Some Portland fans here enjoying the victory on the field.
Yeah, and Portland, it was really important for them. That was definitely a goal for the game to end their winless streak. Boston wanted to continue the momentum going, and I'm sure they're really disappointed with the outcome of the game today. It wasn't their best effort. They weren't able to take advantage, and it was, you know, some bad bounces, a bad Phillips coming out for the Alex Morgan goal, you know, kind of cost them in this one.
And if you were to choose a player of the match here today, I think it'd be pretty obvious you'd go with Alex Morgan with the tying goal in the 24th minute, and then assisting on the winning goal in the 86th minute, the goal scored by Milena Shim. So Morgan now 6 goals and 4 assists on the season for Portland, and the lone breaker goal scored back in the 13th minute by Leanne Sanderson. Be sure to keep it tuned here to the live stream, even though when we sign off, Maddie and myself, Alex Sims will be on the field getting post-game interviews and sound from both Breakers and Thorns players. So if you want to hear some post-game comments, just keep the stream running, and you'll be able to hear from some of the players of this contest. No doubtly, we'll try to hear from Alex Morgan as well as Sydney LaRue on the Breakers side. Maybe try to talk to Leanne Sanderson as well with her 2nd goal of the season here tonight. So once again, the Breakers fall today to Portland 2-1 as they salute the crowd. That was the 2nd largest crowd in Dilboy Stadium history and the 5th sellout of the season. Breakers fall 2-1. Again, in action Wednesday at FC Kansas City. They are back at home here on August the 3rd when they take on Western New York. Portland goes home to play Chicago on Sunday. So that'll wrap it up for our portion of the broadcast. And again, a reminder, keep it locked here as Alex Sims will be on the field getting words, post-game sound and words and interviews from both the Thorns and the Breakers. We thank you for tuning in here to Media Boss Television. For Maddie Sattler, I'm Scott Sudakoff. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
How did it feel personally to get your first one in a little over a month? I know you've been begging for one for quite some time.
Yeah, personally it felt really good today on the field. You know, Tobin definitely helped the energy a little bit when she came in last week or 2 weeks ago. And like I said, everything's just come together. Personally, you know, it's great to get a goal or assist or just contribute a little bit more than I have been in the past games. And it just felt like, it felt good on the field today. I mean, we were happy with our performance and we felt like we deserved that result.
Alex, the offense seemed to stall a bit in the second half, but towards the end there, you guys had some good looks. Anything change?
I know that it was hot today, a little humid, and Obviously the legs were hurting a little bit, so during the second half we knew we needed to push it a little harder at the end there, and that's when we got that goal. But I think both teams were struggling a little bit, and we ended up getting that little push at the end that we needed.
Do you think your shot had a chance off the crossbar there at the end?
I need to keep my shots a little lower. That's a little bit of a issue I've been having the last couple of weeks, but my pace is there, but accuracy is coming.
Has it been disappointing, with the national team being very quiet lately?
It feels good to just live in one city, play with one team, and obviously we hadn't gotten the results we wanted with the Thorns the last couple of weeks, so it feels good now getting this first win in a while. And with the national team, I always love going in there and playing with the best players in the U.S., but it's great to be able to actually unpack for a little bit and live somewhere for longer than a couple weeks.
Are you tired of coming to the East Coast yet?
No, I love the East Coast. I have fun. Obviously the travel wears on you a little bit, but Boston's a great city, so I love coming here. I think we come here in a couple weeks too.
What did you think of the crowd and the reception you've gotten, and how does it compare to the reactions you get everywhere?
The crowd was really entertaining today. You saw they were really into the game, and it was great to see a good turnout, especially on such a hot day. And this is our first time playing in Boston, so it's great to see the stadium they have. And obviously it's not a large capacity stadium, but they definitely filled it out today, so that's good.
Alex, I know you're friends with AJ Soares, so were you disappointed that he couldn't be here today because your schedule just didn't synchronize?
Yeah, AJ's a good friend of mine, so I wish him the best, and I wish I could have seen him, but saw him when I was here with the national team about a month ago. So thank you guys.
Thank you.